and filled with police cars heading in to this act of moving the remains of Deputy Carl Koontz to the funeral home, where his body will be as they then prepare for the funeral. No information yet that we've received on when visitation of the funeral may occur. We hope to learn that perhaps very shortly. But once again, many people expressing their support, especially very silently with their presence here.
Rich Van Wyk reporting live today up north in Kokomo as we continue to honor and remember Deputy Carl Koontz, only 27 years old, died in the line of duty yesterday in Kokomo after serving a search warrant.
Family and friends being comforted here outside the funeral home. Let's just watch this.
Boyle. Emily, you thought this important enough to come out here, stand in this cool, windy weather with your children. Why did you make that decision today?
I just felt it was important to support the family, even though I didn't know her personally, the wife, and just show that the community cares and that we would do whatever to pay our respects.
And your presence here says what to the community, says what to this family?
I think our presence is just showing that we can come together during difficult times and show our support, even though we didn't know him personally, that we care and that we care for all the officers that take care of us every day.
I noticed that as the procession neared and then came by, everything felt quiet here today. What were you thinking?
My heart just breaks for the family personally, and I just really respect everything that, sorry.
It's an emotional time.
It is, and like I said, I did not know him, but my heart just breaks for his wife. I can't even imagine what she's going through.
Emily, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Scott and Andrea.
Rich, thank you very much. Again, as we continue to look at the live pictures here in Howard County, in Kokomo, this is at Stoughton Son Funeral Home, where his body has now been taken back from the Indianapolis coroner's office, making a 50-mile trek up north to Kokomo. As you can see there, large contingent of police officers, sheriff's officers, police really from all over the state and even around the nation who have come today to remember and to honor Deputy Carl Koontz.
And as we continue to look at the scene outside of the funeral home, the friends and family who have gathered here, we have received some new information from the Indiana State Police saying that after conducting an autopsy, Deputy Carl Koontz died as the result of a single gunshot wound to the pelvis. They have determined that homicide is the manner of death for the sheriff's deputy who was killed Sunday morning. And the suspect, after an autopsy, Evan Dorsey, 25-year-old, determined that he was killed as a result of a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head. The sheriff's deputy was serving a warrant around 12:30 in the town of Rushville, which is south of Kokomo. He was with his partner, Sergeant Jordan Buckley. They were serving a warrant that had to do with drugs. They went inside, they were fired upon, and the one deputy killed, the other wounded, but now out of the hospital tonight.
And again, this is the first line of duty death in Howard County for at least 50 years. Let's go back live to Eyewitness News reporter Jenny Runovich, who was standing by there in the long line of procession as folks are waiting for the body to be removed.
Yeah, hi Andrea. The procession has since passed us by, but a lot of the people who gathered here, we wanted to share some of their thoughts. And joining me is Mike and Cheryl Moon. Take a look at the sign that they held up. We honor you, Officer Koontz. So many of these signs we saw lining the procession route. Talk to me again about, Mike, why you wanted to come out here and why it was so important to come out and honor him today.
Well, we're just so thankful for those that protect us, and they work very hard, and they put their life on the line every single day that they step into their cars and onto the streets. And our son is a state trooper, and so we know how the officers feel. And when we lose one of ours, it's like we lost a family member. So we had to come down and honor and show our police officers that we love them, and we're so thankful for them protecting us every day.
And Cheryl, you said your son Matt actually worked with Carl for a time at the jail and shared some great things about what a wonderful guy he is.
Oh yeah, Matt talked about Carl. Of course, he referred to him as Koontz, and just he talked about him quite a bit. So I knew they had a special relationship working in the jail together. And Carl went on to become a deputy, and Matt went on to become a state trooper, and then they still maintained that friendship. And Carl would stop by periodically at Matt and Alyssa's, and yeah, Matt thought highly of him. So therefore we did as well. We just met him the one time, but we could tell he was a great guy.
Carl says anytime you need help moving something, or just call me. And so he was always, as you've seen all day long, that Carl was a people person.
Very likable
and he was
guy.
always there for anyone he could help out.
Yeah, obviously had a huge heart.
Yeah.
Last question for you both. As parents of someone in law enforcement, this has to hit home. Your son, just like he did, puts his life on the line, and there is that risk.
Yes.
But then there's the pride that you feel as well.
Yeah.
It's tough to balance, I'm sure, as a parent too.
It is, but Matt is a man first under submission to God. And therefore, when he's out there as a law enforcement officer expecting people to be law-abiding, he's first a man under submission himself, and we are very proud of Matt, very proud of him. But it is hard. We pray for him every day. Every single day we pray for him.
And what did this community say to Carl today with all of this? It was quite a sight.
Yes, this is fantastic. I am very, very happy to see that people feel like we do. We really appreciate them, and they're not told enough how much we appreciate them.
Yeah.
So we wanted to show them our love today.
You certainly did. Cheryl and Mike, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it. And thank you for your son's service as well. We actually did meet a lot of people, family members, our law enforcement, and they all shared the same thing. It's tough for us. We know the risks, but our family members do this because they want to help other people, just like Deputy Koontz did. We'll send it back to you for now in the studio, guys.
All right, Jenny, thanks so very much. And again, just to echo what we just heard, their families are really the heroes too. It's not just the officer, but they literally lend their brothers, their sisters, their husbands, their wives to protect the rest of us. And Cassandra truly is a hero as well, because she really has paid the ultimate sacrifice. And unfortunately, that has been the death of her husband, only 27 years old. They just had a son, only 8 months old. And truly our hearts are pouring out for her and her family this afternoon, and the entire Kokomo community.
And you can see how the community there is really pouring that love back into the family. Not only the Koontz family, but the police family, by showing up and lining this processional route. That's a really good showing today, and I know that these officers probably appreciate that very much.